Hello students, how are you doing? Today the whole world is fighting against coronavirus. Hope you people are taking good care of yourself. Take care, be healthy. Okay, the topic for today is measures of retention. What is memory retention? See students, information is of no use when we are not able to retain. So, memory retention is when a person can recall or retain experiences based on the mental process of recognition or retention of information. So, if you are able to recall, if you are able to remember, if you are able to retain based on the mental process of recognition or retention, then this is what we mean by retention of memory. It is very important to retain whatever you acquire, whatever you gather. Okay, so this is memory retention. There are some measures of retention. First is recall. What is recall? Recall is the mental process of retrieval of information from the past. For example, suppose a question is there in front of you in your exam, and then the question asks, see, uh, you have to answer one question. You have to write a long, lengthy essay type answer on some question, say 500 words, 600 words. Then it is testing your recall ability. Fill in the blanks. These kind of questions in the exam, when you face, this is your recall test, because there is no external cue. The blank sheet of paper is in front of you. You don't get any cue, you don't get any hint. So when you are able to perform without any hint, without any external cue, then this is your recall test. It is the verbal reproduction or repetition of learned material. Okay, it has three types: free recall, serial recall, and cued recall. First is free recall. As the name suggests, it occurs when a person must recall many times but can recall them in any order. So you have to recall in any order, irrespective of its position. That then two facts tend to surface, that is primacy and recency effect. In order to understand this primacy and recency effect, we have to study serial position effect. Serial position effect was given by Hermann Ebbinghaus. This term was coined by Hermann Ebbinghaus. What does it say? Serial position effect occur when people try to recall items from a list. Basically, in a free recall, items at the beginning and end are better remembered. Please pay attention. Items at the beginning and end are better remembered or recalled than the items in the middle. Two effects, primacy and recency, can be seen in this. Primacy's tendency to better recall of words or things at the beginning is called primacy, and tendency to better recall of words or things at the end is recency effect. Now, what is the reason for primacy? What is the reason for recency? Pay attention. Primacy. When you are given a list of words, for example, the individual may recall the first word, then the first word in addition to the second, then the first two words in addition to the third, and in this way down the list. So what is happening? You tend to remember the words that are in the beginning, and this is due to a person rehearsing these words. He is rehearsing these words. He is rehearsing those words that are at the beginning. He is processing them efficiently. He is practicing them automatically, unconsciously. So until their STM becomes full, and we know it very well that STM has a limited capacity. So the initial items in the list, the items that are at the beginning, they remain in STM long enough to be transferred via rehearsal to long-term memory. So these words are transferred to long-term memory because of rehearsal and because of processing, efficient processing. And we know that through uh, and we know that through rehearsal and efficient processing, information travels from short-term memory to long-term memory. So this is the reason for your primacy effect. Now, what is the reason for your recency effect? The recency effect reflects retrieval from your short-term memory. Recency is from short-term memory. The final words, the words that are at the end, they still reside in STM. They are still active in your short-term memory and can be retrieved as long as recall is immediate. What do you mean by immediate recall? Means if you are asked to recall just after the presentation. You are given a list. Immediately, if we ask for the recall, then that is called a immediate recall. They are readily available if the recall is immediate. They do not need to be rehearsed. So recency effect. This is the reason for recency effect. But one thing very important, recency effect is dramatically affected by the passage of time and the presentation of additional information. If the recall is immediate, then you can see recency effect. But if the recall is not immediate, if you allow some time to pass, say more than 30 seconds, more than that, recency effect disappears. It happens because of duration of STM. Duration of STM is, students, 18 to 30 seconds. If you are asked to recall after 30 seconds, you would not be able to remember. Information is lost. We have already studied information is lost if not rehearsed within 30 seconds in short-term memory. So recency effect, it disappears if we allow some time to pass, say more than 30 seconds. Okay, so these are the reasons for primacy and recency effect. Now what about the middle items? Middle items, what happens is, now we know that the capacity of STM is limited. We know that. So once the capacity of the store of the STM is exceeded, a new word can enter. Anything new can enter only by displacing a previous word. So the middle items, they are displaced by the new information. They couldn't make their place. They are lost. So they can neither stay in short-term memory nor in your long-term memory. This was serial position effect by Hermann Ebbinghaus. You can see its graph right in front of your screen. So serial position effect, I hope you understood. So it is thought that when people remember primacy and recency information, it is thought that they are recalling from two separate stores. Primacy effect from long-term memory, recency from your short-term memory. Okay, it's very important. Please go through it again and again. Okay. Next is serial recall. Serial recall, again, as the name suggests, you have to recall your items or information or events in the serial order in which they occurred. Serial position helps a person to remember the order of events in his or her life. Sometimes you have to recall your episodes. You have to some important episodes of your life in a serial order. Your happy memories, your sad memories, you have to recall them in the same order, in the structured form, not in a fragmented form, serial order. Okay. Next is cued recall. Cued recall, again, name suggests, when a person is given a list to remember and is then given cues. You are given a list. At that time, you are not told that you would be given a hint during your testing phase. But when we asked for the recall during the testing phase, we give you a hint, we give you a cue. So with the help of that cue, your recall is better. This is cued recall. When you are given a hint, when you are given some cue, some hint, then that is your cued recall. Next is, after recall, we'll study recognition. Recognition is identifying a previous learned information using external cues. Now, there is a difference between recall and recognition. In recall, there is no external cue, but in recognition, there is a cue. For example, multiple choice questions. A question is there in front of you and there are 4 options. When you are able to answer, when you are able to identify the correct one, that is your recognition test. True, false is your recognition test. You just have to identify. Because there is a cue, there is a hint. The correct answer is there in front of you. The task of you is to correctly identify which is the correct one. So it involves a process of comparison. It has some cue. This is the basic difference between recall and recognition. Here is a cue, but in recall there is no cue. Method of calculating recognition is as follows. For example, say you are shown, suppose there are 2 lists. In first list, you are shown list of 20 pictures, one at a time. Now what happens is, in the first list you are shown 20 pictures, but now these 20 pictures that you have already seen, they are shuffled with 20 new pictures. So in all, 40 pictures are shown to you one by one. So the task of the subject is to say yes to the picture that was in the initial list, that was in the first list. He has to say yes, and no to those that was not in the initial list. So basically his task is he has to identify pictures that were from the first list. This was his task. So if the subject, if he identifies, if we see the picture from the first list, if we show him the picture from the first list, if he correctly identifies, then his answer is correct. If he say yes, this picture is from the first list, then then his answer is right. And now if we show him picture that was not there in the first list, he has to say no. And if he correctly identifies and if he says no, again his answer is correct. This constitutes his right answers. Yes to old stimuli and no to new stimuli. This constitutes his right answers. And if he says no to old stimuli and yes to new stimuli, then his answers are considered wrong. So in this way, we will calculate his right and wrong answers. So by applying this formula, we can calculate percentage of recognition. So this is what we mean by recognition. And last is relearning. What is relearning? It is a way of measuring retention by measuring how much faster one relearns material that has been previously learned and then forgotten. For example, you learn something, but because you don't practice it frequently, you forget something. For example, when you are a child, you learn a language that is German language in your childhood. But after some time has passed, you forget because you don't encounter any situation where you can use that language. This language is not your mother tongue, so you forget it with the passage of time. After some time, when you are doing job, you are recruited in a company that is a German company, and it is mandatory to understand that language, to learn that language. So when you start relearning that language, you come to know that you are learning it quite easily, quite fast. This is what we mean by relearning. It is also called savings method, because the amount of time saved or number of trials saved is an index of the degree of retention. Now you are able to learn it fast. You are able to understand that language quite easily, because the mind knows that information was once there. So you just have to revive those memories. You just have to refresh them for use. So this is relearning method, savings method. And this is the formula. Original learning minus relearning upon original learning multiplied by 100. In this way, we can calculate our percentage saving. Suppose you took 6 months while learning a task previously, and now you took 3 months. So 6 minus 3 upon 6, that is the original learning, into 100. So if we calculate it, we get 50%. You save 50% of your time. That is your percentage saving. In this way, you can save your time. This is what we mean by relearning or saving method. So students, this was our measures of retention. Hope you understood. Please pay attention. 2 or 3 questions are expected from this topic. Difference between memory, difference between recall and recognition, serial position effect, and definition of relearning. These kind of questions, they generally come. Pay attention, do well. All the best, my students. And please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you.